Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today I'm going to be sharing a review of Liar, Love Isn't a Right by Tanita Tikaram. First off, I just want to give a bit of backstory to how I got this record. I interviewed Tanita Tikaram, prefacing the release of this album, and we had a really interesting chat. At the end of this video, if you're on laptop or phone, the video will come up if you want to watch that. And you can find it on my YouTube channel if you're watching on TV. But we spoke about this album, and she came to Ireland to play in the National Concert Hall, and she gave me a copy of this. Now, it's actually, she signed all of them, Love Tanita Tikaram, but she specifically signed it for me. It's hard to see on camera, but she actually signed it for me, which I really, really appreciated. And we got to speak for a couple of minutes at the National Concert Hall in person, which is really, really cool. And I now have this album on this really cool, like, muddy vinyl variant, which I love, and I think is just, it's a really cool colour, and I think contrasting to the standard white and black that's seen on this album, it just really has a pop. There'll be a link to buy this vinyl down below. So before further ado, let's get into the music. Also, just a note, this is a sister album, technically, I don't really know what you would call it, to Ancient Heart, which was her debut album. It kind of connects in, and this is quite a politically powered album. So even if you haven't heard the album, I think this is a great way that you can maybe hear about it, and you might get insight into what the album is like. Starting off with the first song, Turn the Lights Down Low. Tanita's vocal puncture, and I don't mean as in her vocal kind of sounds like it punctures. No, the way she punctures into the song at the start. Like, unfortunately on streaming you may not get this, but when you're playing on the record, there's a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds of silence as usual when you're in the needles on the record, and then the song starts. And the way the vocals punctured on my stereo is amazing. As well, I want to talk about the guitar. It's very soft sounding, but it's played at a moderate volume, so it sounds like it's played really quietly but turned up a bit. It sounds amazing. And then there's this, I don't know how to describe the drums, apart from the fact that they just sound very satisfying. They sound really, really cool, and I love the drums on this. And there's some really pulsing strings on Turn the Lights Down Low, which really give it that drive that I love. Next we have Fais moi une solitude, which has an amazing percussion sound, and some soft vocals from Tanita. Her vocal performance across this album is astonishing. It's beautiful. Then we have some really plucky guitars throughout the whole song, which kind of add to the character of the song. It really makes one that stands out in your mind, and it's quite a bassy, and it has some very bassy and dominating strings as well. So overall, it's quite an ominous but good track. So I really, really like this song. And then we have This Perfect Friend, which has a really, really bright sound in comparison to maybe a song like Love Isn't a Right or Fais moi une solitude. It has some awesome stabbing strings in it, and it's quite ominous sounding while not being too intense or heavy. It's a great politically powered single. I thought this was a great choice for a single, hearing it in the context of the album. I don't really know any others that I'd pick, because some songs make more of an impact when you're listening on the album. Like Love Isn't a Right, relatively to the rest of the tracks, is the title track is a lot heavier than the rest, so it makes more of an impact when you're listening to it on the album. Maybe would it be a bit of a good single? I don't know. I do know though that This Perfect Friend was a great single. Next we have I See a Morning. And this is some subtle reverb on the vocals. Now, the thing is with vocals is that they can sometimes be over-reverberated, that it sounds like somebody's in a hall 250 miles long, which I don't really like, the way reverb's kind of used as an instrument, whereas this is really well used. And I think maybe the adjective subtle doesn't suit it. It's subtle relative to other reverb sounds, but it's just well used, I think. We have some very quirky keys on I See a Morning, some very soaring strings. It really uplifts you. Like, the song is called I See a Morning. It's hardly going to make you upset. It's a very beautiful track with this wild span of frequencies where we have the bass and these high tones really lifting you up. I saw this live when Tanita was playing with Mary Coughlan quite briefly at the 3 Olympia. And I saw this song being performed way before the album came out. So that was really, really cool. And it was great to hear the studio version. Then we have Fear and Chills. These chords give me chills. They are very chilly. They kind of, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. They're kind of scary. They're like ominous. You're listening to them going, oh my God, I feel like we're breaking some musically theoretical rule here. It sounds strange. And then we have this very cool piano sound that matches with these absolutely terrifying chords. And honestly, it's an ominous and very quirky track. I think there's a really, really cool aspect to the song. I just think it's awesome. Next, we have Love Isn't Right. This is an amazing title track, and apart from the fact that this is the title of the album, the secondary title, the subtitle perhaps, this is a brilliantly impactful, really, really good, and honestly, throughout the whole album, this is the main song, this is the main theme. Even though, yes, it is the title track, I know, it is the main theme, in my opinion. It's intense and it's relatively heavy. I'm using the word relative a lot in this review, but it is in context. Just at least I'm not like throwing it out there. It is in context of a sentence. But this is relatively heavy in comparison to some of the other moments on this album, where it's This Perfect Friend, quite bright, I See a Morning, quite upbeat, whereas like Love Isn't Alright, it's really pounding at you. It's really it's like pounding on the door of your brain, like telling you something you maybe don't want to hear, or maybe you already know, and it's like sharing a secret. I don't know. It's a song that has a lot of aspects, a lot of dimensions. It's hard to digest, and for some people easy to digest. I think that's what makes it a good song. It's so well rounded. Next we have Lover Don't Come Around. This is quite playful, even though it's not meant to be, in my opinion. It has some fun vocals on the chorus, amazing double tracked vocals. It was so tastefully done. Like, this is the one moment that I really noticed double tracked vocals. I'm not even sure if it's on any other points in the record. This was so tastefully done, added such perspective, clarity, shapes to this song. It was really, really cool, honestly. And it gave, where I mean a new perspective, you kind of view the song a different way when you hear the double tracked vocals. And then we have Sweet Feather in the Storm. This is dark and ominous. You can tell by the great title. This is some rasping strings during the chorus, really kind of dragging you along with it in the best way possible. Instead of like dragging, like holding your hand as you're bouncing off the cobbles, it's more kind of like grabbing you by the cuff of your shirt. It's a really dominating track and also quite punctual. And I don't mean as in late for class punctual. I mean regarding punctuation. It's just so on point, sharp, very just, it's a well-made song. It's very well crafted, very well shaped, brilliant song. Then we have Wild as the Wind, an amazing cover and some beautiful singing by Tanita on this track. Honestly, it's a great addition to the album. I think it's a wonderful addition to the album. And then closing off this amazing piece of music, we have Sailboats, which is creative, quite different to some of the other songs I noticed. Very quirky in that retrospect. It's kind of quirky, kind of cool. It's 100% cool. And then we have the vast sound of it. This is a terrific album from start to finish. I'm not saying that just because I know Tanita, but just it is a really, really cool album. And politically powered, which I always love. Subtle at parts. It's really happy at parts, really sad. Well, not really sad, but sad at parts. Overall, it's a beautiful album. Multiple dimensions. You can get a lot from it. I think this is a really good album, and if you haven't heard it, make sure to check it out. If you like my reviews, make sure to subscribe. If you like this review, please like. Share your thoughts with me down in the comments. I'd love to hear them. Make sure to check out my interview with Tanita. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this review. And if Tanita, you're watching this, big shout out. Thank you so much for giving me the vinyl, and thank you so much for making such a great album. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.